G'day guys, we are back again. So I ran off, did all my stuff, and now I'm here hanging out with you lovely people. How fun's that? Pretty fun. I'm excited. You excited? We're all excited. There we go. Okie dokie. Now, let's put this down. I've sorted myself out with a little bit of a coffee. So I put a zing in my step. And now we're going to throw around some, not on this plate, and not with this brush, but with this brush on this plate. Because there's method to this madness. And we're going to use a little bit of black. Dare I say it? No. Hey Marco, how we doing? First one in the room. Good to have you here. Legend. I do need though, let me see here, what I do with my image. What did I do with my image? I'm gonna put it up here. JS, how we doing? JS, speaking of, I think you just sent me a message. I saw it and I will get back to you. I'll sort you out. I don't normally check, I try to check TikTok comments, but TikTok messages are niggly because TikTok messages, the issue with them is you can't reply with voice messages, you can't reply with videos, you can't reply with photos, and I'm like, that's the only way I like to reply. Like, anyway, I don't know why it doesn't allow that, but for me personally, I reply with voice messages, videos, and photos. That we're offered this amazing method of communication. Use it, I reckon. Yeah, actually, someone tried to hack my Instagram a while back. But I had it on two-factor, so it just booted me off it. But there was a brief period of about 45 minutes where I actually thought that everyone I've ever connected with on that profile would just be gone. And there was a part of me which had made peace with it and was like, I'm ready to invent the new me, which would be the same me, just with less people. And never came to pass. But the idea was there. It was considered briefly. Oh. Phone in my pocket. Classic. Let me just plug this in, guys. This phone needs to charge. Unless. No, it's got enough batteries. That's all good, JS. It happens. Totally happens. Meta's good though. Honestly, I've people give Meta a hard time and Mark Zuckerberg a hard time. I can sympathize. Like, everyone should have their own opinions. I met the operations team of Instagram, that particular branch of Meta, and TikTok. And Instagram and TikTok, they were really cool people, honestly. They were really, really cool. Met them at a CreatorCon, like, they tell you about the app and how it works and things. And I definitely felt like they were out for the good of mankind. They were lovely people, and they were trying to make sure that people who view content find stuff that improves their lives, and people who create content have the easiest ability to do so, while also possibly turning it into more positivity for more people. So I thought they were pretty cool, to be honest. I like your style, JS. Me too. And fun guy. Not only you're a fun guy, you're also a great guy. I appreciate your feedback. Parisius? Good to have you in here, Parisius. Now I'm going to grab just a little bit of bada bing, ba boom. Here we go. A little bit of this. We need some of these darker colors. Give me that fire. Mm-hmm. Where'd that go? Did that go behind me? Did that go under me? Under me. For $10. You now know it went under. That can go down there. Let's grab this one here, a bit of this blue. These are 3 colors. If you missed the tutorial earlier today, we are working with egg tempera. I have my own special blend here. And it took a little while to make. Without going into the whole recipe, I'll just say that you want the consistency, see that there, of pancake mix. I love my advanced scientific terms. You want the consistency of pancake mix, and then later in the piece for impasto effects, we want the consistency of custard. Seb, never date a tennis player. Love means nothing to them. Or, Chad, wildcard, does it mean they're locked in a battle that's come right down to the final stages, in which any man or woman could take the moment and make it advantage? Will they understand that love's not about winning and it's actually about gaining advantage? Would they see love more traumatically and say there's no way to win? These are the questions. These are the questions. And let's put some in here. A little bit here, and brother hit shoulder. Actually, I don't. I don't hit shoulders. When I go to the gym, I do lightweight, lots of reps, and just enjoy the fact of the feeling of being healthy. Like feeling your body breathe and move. I appreciate you there, Chad. You could have come back combative, but you didn't. You came back positive. I like your style. You know that. There we go. Let's put a little bit more through here. You could have blown up and been like, "That's not the way I meant the joke." You know that, but you didn't. You didn't. You went with what I said, and I appreciate that. There we go. All right, let's get a bit more of this up around the sky here. In the sky, full of love, and after you. There we go. Beautiful. And we've got a Steve in the room. How we doing, Steve? Back for the second stint of today. Wonderful. And you thought the parking space below was art? It is. It is. It's a form of art. If that was all that was left of humanity, it would be humanity's last form of expression. Someone came up with the idea of creating the person in the wheelchair with as simple as possible lines, with gaps between those lines in order to make it with the paint that they've got. Someone chose the yellow as the most compelling yellow to serve the purpose. Absolutely. Absolutely. Art. But it depends on your definition of art. You could get up on your high horse and say it wasn't intended to be art in its first instance and therefore it can't be art. But if we only allow art that was intended to be art, then you couldn't call any cave drawings art. Because we cannot verify whether the person who made it intended on it being art or whether it was purely archival. And so our definition of art starts to crumble a little bit if we demand the intention define the outcome. Think about that. And therefore, if the intention cannot define the outcome or cannot completely define the outcome in all cases, well, now we've got an interesting situation for art. Now, it doesn't come down to the intention it was made with, it comes down to how it's perceived after it's created. Or is it not about what's made at all, but about how it's made? Could it be art in how it's made more than it's art in what gets made? Does art have to be made to exist? If art was in the distant bush, if art was in the bushes, say the forest, and no one saw it be made, would it still be art? Well, yes, it would be. Would it? Or would we say no, it has to be seen to be art? If it has to be seen to be art, then clearly art cares nothing for what actually exists and only exclusively cares for who's looking at it. And therefore there's no such thing as a beautiful piece of art, only a beautiful person looking at that art. Think about that. That's some art history for you. That's some philosophy. That's the good stuff. Hello, Xavier. Love the way your text is all funky there. I'm glad you like the painting, Steve. And Marty, where are we from? This is New Zealand. It's true. If you follow through, I mean, unless you disagree on some of those points, which is possible, and we can argue in different ways what art is. But if you take the conventional understanding and definition of art and you run with that, you get to a point where actually the actual product itself is technically meaningless, because you would typically say that the art existing in the middle of nowhere where no one saw it isn't actually art, it's just a series of atoms. For example, if I told you the universe was infinite and somewhere out there lived a series of atoms in the exact same formation as this picture right here, you would say, cool, but nah, that's not art, this one's art. Okay, but that wasn't because of the intention of how it was made. They're both equally as, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you saw this one. And so if seeing is the solution or the crux of it, then the viewer is the key, not the art. Mickey, welcome on in. Welcome on in. All right. All right. Let's get some of this around these legs. But, I mean, we can all come up with our own definitions. Really, there's no harm in having multiple definitions of what art is to you. But having an important understanding, an understanding of self can be potent to better understand art, what you like. Most importantly, don't let someone else tell you what art is. Don't let a weird Kiwi tell you what art is. Go figure out for yourself, decide what you like, and then pursue that. That's the best thing to do. But also ignore me, which I know is tough because I'm giving you instructions on how to do stuff. But one of those instructions is ignore me. And at the end of the day, as long as you can build up your own critical thought, there will come a time where you'll listen to things I say, right now in fact, or in the past, where you'll think, actually, no, that's nonsense. And when you think that, that's a very, very powerful moment, because now you've built up your own ability to think constructively, but you can still respect the words that leave my mouth, just without taking every single word as gospel. And that is when all the lessons I can teach you are finally complete. I love Liam so much. Oh, good on you, I love Liam so much. Liam strikes me as a great guy. I'm glad you love him so much. I'm sure he does lots of wholesome things for your life. I'm yet to run into a profile of someone called I love Seb so much, so Liam must have a lot going on for him. You go to Bali Island, Deet? I did go to Bali Island, indeed. And it was amazing, lovely place. I'll go back to Bali Island. I'll go to Lombok. And I'll go to... What's the other one? Java. Mount Bromo. All my favourite places in that wild part of the world. There we go. Let's chuck some of that through there. Oh, thank you so much, Ricardo. You're an absolute champion. I appreciate you. This is a surfing picture, and we're just chucking some dark pieces in it. I got a little bit excited with the highlights and lost some definition, so I'm coming back with some dark bits and to see if we can get a bit of that back, but we're not trying to overpower it, just playing with it. So you'll see a little bit of that wave actually starting to get a bit more form. After I'm done with this, I've got a bit of black, and then I've got a bit of deep magenta. So there's a few fun things to play with here. But I'm also being much more, if you noticed it, much more aggressive and intense with the brush strokes that I do land, because I want to make sure there is a bit of zest in this, not just an explosion of colour straight at you. One of the most beautiful parts of the painting Mahalo, I know I keep talking about Mahalo, guys, this is a different piece. It has different feelings, different emotions, different expressions. It's capturing different things, but Mahalo is also a surf picture. And so we have to talk about the last surf picture to understand where that one stands to where this one stands. So I bring up Mahalo to say, Mahalo had that amazing movement in all its strokes from the start. There wasn't a moment where we thought, too dotty, we're going to move back in this direction. But this one here is pulling and tugging in different directions. And that's kind of fun. It adds more layering, but less certainty. That's kind of fun in a wave. So we'll play with that. We'll play with that. There we go. Splashing this around, and plus I've got a lot more e-tempera to use, so we're going to do that. Lombok Java. Yes. Your Kiwi artist likes Garo Garo. I love Garo Garo. And I like, what else do I like? I like, what's the other one? Garo Garo. I mean, obviously there's Nasi Goreng. There's, what else is there? Nasi Ginseng. I forget. But honestly, guys, if you're from New Zealand or Australia, Indonesia is the most amazing place to go. You won't find anywhere else as close to home, as different from home, with people as lovely. It just doesn't happen, guys. They're just incredible. In the painting direction, that's mean. In terms of painting, though, if you like sketching, a lot of the time we come back to painting being the most raw one. It's not. It's the most rudimentary one. I think your own craft, sketching, charcoal, whatever you find that really spins your wheels, it's okay that it does that. It's okay. And so the beauty behind that is choose your medium that suits you best. And you think, oh, what really helps me express me? Less about expressing you and more about what medium allows you to connect with people. What speaks to people and allows you to actually feel your own humanity through others. Do that medium. Guding. All right, Joshua's got a favorite. Yes. I like my favorite dish in Indonesia. It's a beautiful dish. 2 syllables. And I have so many of them. So many. Every time I finish one, I immediately have to have another. It's called bintang. Maybe you've had one. And the seafood, yes, I love those restaurants right on the water where you can get fish and have them cooked and then eat the fish right there. The whole thing. Just a little fork poking away at it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Slow cooked jackfruit. I've had so many bintang. Yeah. Bintang's good though. Honestly, guys, I'm not a craft beer kind of guy. You could if you told me bintang was all I got for the rest of my life, I'd be a happy man. It's fine. Bintang slaps, which means cool with the kids these days. Bintang slaps. It's got a delightfully round flavour to it. Like it's like a it's not like a Charizard. I'd say a Charizard's. Imagine it in Pokemon forms. I'd say Bintang is the Pikachu of the Pokemon world. Everyone likes it. Everyone likes it. It's everywhere. Makes everyone smile. And it's good. No one's ever like, oh, Pikachu. Everyone's like, oh, great, Pikachu. That's the reaction to a Bintang. Where did I learn to paint? I learned to paint when I was a young little tacker. I had all the tools around me all the time. So I became a painter, I guess you could say when I was 3 years old or 2 years old. I was self-taught. And then as time went on, I went to high school, did a bunch of courses at high school, did a bunch of courses at university, had a few amazing peers, did tutoring. But that's sort of irrelevant, guys. The things that made my art what it is today is not the lessons I got, but the peers I surrounded myself with. Not saying that, you need to find great people in your life. Yeah, that, but also actually people who love me, people who saw my dreams as essential, not just acceptable. Those are people who take you to the next level. And they can be your friends, they can be your relationships, they can come from all over the show, but they have to exist. They have to exist. Hello, Crystal. Welcome back. You're doing a lot of study tonight, I suppose. You're back at your laptop studying and you're like, go on then. I'll leap on another stream. I'll see him slap around some paint. Let's do it. And we're doing little touch points at the moment, which is pretty fun. I love doing little highlights, little like moments. Bigger moments down here because this is where the wave's flowing, but that's okay. Getting down in there. It's a long time. I have chalk sketched since childhood. Man, I love people who do those creative things like chalk sketching. There's chalk sketching. I love sand art. Sand art is the most, in my mind. There's different kinds, but beach art with sand literally says, I plan on this disappearing within 6 hours, which adds an amazing ephemeral, temporary quality to it. So every piece is somewhat addressing the element of time, no matter what you're painting. And I kind of like that. See, I spend all my time making art and trying to figure out how can I make this last for 2,000 years. That's always what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking 5 years or 10 years. I'm not thinking 500 years. I'm thinking 2,000 years. How do we hit 2,000? How do we hit 2,000? And so it's so relaxing for me to see the other side of the coin that says, you know, if you do carving, you're talking 10,000. You know, and art could last that long too. We haven't had art for that long, but maybe it could. It's so relaxing to the other side of the coin where you see people talking about saying, my art's destroyed in 6 hours. And I think, I'm trying to gun for 2,000 years and you're doing 6 hours. Isn't it cool, the nature in which art can take different forms? Anyway, since you mentioned food, you're not making ramen. Naughty, naughty. We were just talking about nasi goreng, actually. And gado-gado, which are fantastic. You would actually know all about that, Crystal, because have you been, I think you have been to Indonesia, haven't you, and done all those trips and stuff? Most amazing places across there in Indonesia. Such a cool place, Pete. Such a cool place. We're so lucky to have something like that on our doorstep. Yeah. Is that where, and I'm sorry I haven't painted it at this stage, is that where the turtle picture's from, Crystal? Perfect, yes, I remember that. There was a whole bunch of dive clubs everywhere. Everywhere. Everyone was diving, smashing bintangs, which I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that the night before a dive, but they were. And I was just in my jandals wandering along. I'm not much of a... I love it that there are dive clubs and things like this. Don't get me wrong. I love this sort of stuff all happening around me. For me personally, I just love getting in there and seeing the environment. I'm like a little guy who gets hyped up off just perceiving. So I get really excited being there, seeing everyone else going diving, hearing their stories and their lives, what they're doing, what brought them to Bali. This is exciting for me. This does it for me. So that's what I end up doing. Hello, Carly. Welcome on in, mate. And I appreciate the support from Indonesia. We're singing your praises right now, actually, which is kind of fun. Kind of fun. This is Auckland and... yes, you told me that, Crystal. Sorry for forgetting. And this is Auckland, Albany studio at the Crate Flexible Office Space. And if you saw my post recently, I thought I'd better come clean, guys. Come clean, but actually talk about office spaces, because a lot of us are working from home now. And I know we're doing it for work and things like that, but you need to realize the mental health gain of being in a community. Now, that's not always an office space, but sometimes an office space is correlated with community. So the one thing I'd say is you're an animal, you're a human being, and you need to make sure that your days are full of community love and vitality. Not just on the weekend, thinking like, oh, I'm going to go out and party on the weekend, it'll be okay, and then take some intoxicating substances and think, as you walk around with some acquaintances, that you're ticking the box on filling a social quota. Like, that's not quite how it works. It's something softer, more abundant, more common. You need people in your life to help push you forward. You can't just think that your social Being Social's done for the day. Like, I think we're more complex than we actually understand, and I think working from home and doing 40 hours in isolation probably isn't the right way to go about it. And artists are the highest risk for it because we live and breathe isolation. So it's not great that we sit there even more so and hide from the world. We need to join in on the world. Hey, welcome, and absolutely. The very fact that you're here, catching the stream, hanging out with us, means that I've got all the time in the world for you. And I want to make you feel welcome. And hopefully, while I'm smashing some black paint onto Drew Brophy's legs as he surfs here, hopefully I can impart some silly comments and wisdom onto you. Hopefully. But, you never know. There we go. There we go. Surfing? Yes, Carly. Yeah, Drew's fun. Drew's a fun guy. He's a very fun guy. He went through a serious health risk concern recently, and he's bounced back, or the majority have bounced back from it, which is really cool to see. But that's also a reason why painting like this stands for the hourglass of time a little bit, in that he did have a very, very scary occurrence, which he's lived through, and actually been out here on the water, living life. I say living life, it's always so oversaid, cheesy, but doing what you love and getting yourself lost in a flow state of things that you genuinely care about, that's what I mean. And Drew Brophy, waves are his remedy. And that's why he loves to do art. Waves inspire every single picture he's ever made. The joy of surfing, the joy of the sea, the joy of the ocean. And so that's, in a little way, what we want to reflect in this work. The joy of all that stuff, and not just the joy, but the complexity of it. When you have such a deep relationship with something, there needs to be layers and depth in it. And so that's what we're adding in here. Layers and depth. A lot of it. A lot of it. Put that one down. One more here. Grab this here. Thanks, Aquib. And MGR, welcome on in. What's that there? That's great to hear. Yeah. And back up there was a thing. It's Auckland, New Zealand. Auckland, New Zealand. Bear with my hair. I shampooed it today, so it's a little bit all over the show. And our moustache is becoming more and more prominent. I think we're going to poll on it at the end of the month for keep or sack. But it's kind of fun. I always laugh when I'm making the reels now and talking. I'm like, I wonder if people take me seriously, more seriously, or think I'm just a nitwit with this sort of like slug across the top of my lip. Right. Next colour off the footwork. What's it going to be? And I, for the first time in my life, that's why I'm telling you better be home soon. Now this colour here, we're going to lean in a little bit with a metaphor after that talk we've just been having. A little bit with a metaphor, because what this is going to be is tan mixed with white. Sienna, light sienna mixed with white to make a sand colour. Why sand? Because in this picture here, with the hourglass subtly appearing as the wave, I want to show the color of sand inside the wave to give a very, very subtle indicator to, I know it's cheesy, the sands of time. So you can actually see sand making the wave, making the hourglass, and building the entire metaphor that Drew's actually in the middle of a process, which is living life. Loving, living, doing what he loves. Hello, imparted by Brittany. Welcome on in. Good to have you here. Good to have you. Imparted by Brittany. Been a hot minute, actually. And New Year's, go to Indonesia. Yes, please. I would love that. I'm about to be a dad, so I won't be able to charge off and smash bintangs, but I can't wait to wander around Indonesia with a front pack. That's definitely going to happen. So when my fantastic love of my life, baby girl, comes into this world, and I get that front pack, and she likes to travel, hopefully. At that point, I'll come back to Indonesia, and we can go to all the places, and depending on how safe it is, New Year's, all that sort of stuff. Woohoo! Can't wait. Can't wait. I'm doing good, and it's good to hear someone's from Melbourne here, representing Melbourne. So we've got America, Indonesia, and Melbourne in the building right now. Australia, America, and Indonesia. Pretty fun, pretty fun. Sometimes we have little runs where we get a whole bunch of people from whereabouts? They say Korea, but not sure. Korea, Japan. Japan's always lovely. Ooh, Australia. And yes, Brittany, of course, South Africa. Never going to forget South Africa. Lovely, lovely people. There's actually a massive, I was surprised at how big the following for me, because Instagram gives me data and that sort of stuff, how big the following is in South Africa. I was like, oh wow. Because a couple of prints have gone there, a couple of originals, but like enough that I'd sort of missed how big the following actually was in places like Cape Town. And when I figured it out, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Good for you guys. Loving a bit of wild art over there. I dig that. Good for you. Get into it. There we go. And then for the first time in my life, that's why I'm telling you, you better be home soon. And I know I'm right. That's Crowded House. If you're from New Zealand, you know who they are. If you're not from New Zealand, you probably still know who they are. Very famous. For the first time in my life, that's why I'm telling you, you better be home soon. Here we go. See, we're cutting in here a little bit. Just saying the breach on where we want the form of his body to be. Here we go. Stick to art, not singing. You know what? When you paint a picture and you send it through to me and you say, what do you think, Seb? I'm going to tell you how much I love it, how much I'm glad it makes you happy, and how satisfied I am that I was able to, in a small way, inspire you to not only make something, but to share it with someone else. That takes immense confidence, and I'm proud of you. And all that I ask in return is when I use my poor singing voice, which sometimes goes flat, sometimes hits high notes poorly, sometimes forgets the tune, that you just enjoy, that I'm as happy singing that song, whether it was done right or wrong. And even when you don't like it, I still appreciate you being here. You absolute legend. Now, more sand. Tans is like, hey, whoa, everyone slow down, calm the farm. No, at the end of the day, singing isn't my forte. It's not my forte, but I do believe, just like I tell you guys, I believe you should paint if you need an outlet to express yourself in a raw and primal way. In the same way, I believe if I'm going to practice what I preach, that singing's important for me. And I know I shouldn't put you guys through it, but in the shower, trust me, I'm belting out Greatest Showman. The other side. To the other side. So you can do like you do, or you can do it like me. On the stage, and we finally find the key. So you now I think the day to die. Welcome to the other side. So you can do like you do, or you can do it like me. What a fancy song. Good on you, Hugh Jackman and the other guy, Zac Efron. Bunch of champions, just going about their business. Check a bit more in here. There we go. To the other side. So you can do it like you do, or you can do it like me. And in the stage when we finally chase the key, oh, you da 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 dee da. Oh, welcome to the other side. To the other side. Here we go. Good morning, Ryan. How we doing? Thanks, LCB. Great time. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. You got a waterproof foam there, Ryan. I saw it on my local DIY store, which is Home Depot for you Americans, and Bunnings or Mitre 10 for the Australasians. I'm not sure what the option is in Indonesia, but they had shower heads that were speakers that were powered by the water passing through it. How wild's that? Pretty cool if you ask me. Cheers, Brittany. Sure. Hello, LJ. Welcome on in. And what do we have here? Steve. Suddenly I'm free to fly. Welcome to the other side, because we can do it like you do. We can do it like me. The stage when we finally chase the key. Oh, you. Ba-da-da-da-da-dee-da. To the other side. There we go, beautiful. Getting those little moments up in there. Getting a bit more wild with the paint. Get wild in the club. There we go. Let's get up in that corner there. There we go, dabbling it. All right. Little highlights. Nothing major, just some little touch points in the picture. Welcome to the other side. Do it like you do, or you can do it like me. On the stage, and we finally chase the key. Oh, me, da 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 da. Welcome to the other side. You can do it like you do, or you can do it like me. On the stage, when we finally face the key. Yeah, that's a good song. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I can sympathize, Crystal. I used to be terrible at studying. I'm a fantastic crammer, but not such a good studier. Boys used to be able to, in the last window, pull something together, but always struggled to motivate myself before it was too late to take action. And I know that's not a great trait. It's something I actually am trying to work on. I think I'm dealing with it pretty well later in life, but at the time when I was in university, fairly tough to get me on board with taking early action. I'm Flow You, okay? Yeah, go for gold. Go for gold. You can flow me all you like. So you Welcome to the other side. You can do it like you do. Do it like me. Hey. Hey. You know what, Crystal? You're getting in there and studying. You're an absolute champion. You know how many people are out there right now? Not only not knowing what they want to do, that may be you too, but not knowing what they want to do and in a state of inaction. You know how cool it is that not only you may know what you want to do, this may be the correct path for you, but regardless, you're in action. And I respect that a lot. Because action's not easy, guys. Action takes huge amounts of motivation, huge amounts of commitment and self-awareness. You know, it's sort of easy in high school and university when you first start, because you sort of fall into these categories as you go. But later in the piece, at the age of 32, to go, right, this is the plan. Man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So kudos to you. Kudos to you. True though. And hello Claire, how are we doing? You like the use of colour? Yeah. This one's turning out actually like the water version of who was around. Some of you might remember it. Milford Track picture. So we did a picture of the Milford Track, which was like a massive New Zealand landscape. Massive green hills, like cliff style things. And it's actually a very, very similar style to what this one is. Hugely similar, actually. Which is kind of cool. And so right now, if you missed it before, I'm adding in a bunch of tan tones. Light tans, sandy. To make the foam on the waves, but also give the idea, very slight hint of an idea, that actually there's sand in an hourglass, connecting an element of time into the picture. That's the plan. Here we go. Perfect. Hey, you and me are free to fly to the other side so we can do it like you do. Yeah, it's very, very subtle, Claire. We only spotted it midway through the painting, and now we're somewhat leaning into it. So now we're having fun with it, which is the metaphor of surfing. He's holding the hourglass. It's like life. Once I tell you it's an hourglass, it seems to look more like it in a lot of moments when you first glance at it than it does actually a wave, which I kind of like too, because you see wave, definite wave, but after you hear hourglass, you start seeing hourglass, which is, I like that. Or at least that's the effect that it has on me anyway. Suddenly you're free to fly to the other side. So you can do it like you do, or you can do it like me. Stage when you finally chase the key. Oh, damn. Da-ba-dee-ba-dee-da-die. To the other side. I like that. I like that. You've got huge awareness there, though, Claire. One wild card there is a lot of people say, I haven't painted in a long time, I lost my inspiration. But inspiration doesn't come prior to painting. And you're correct when you say it's motivation. Motivation brings you in front of a canvas, and inspiration keeps you there and proliferates the feeling. So that's good that you're already self-aware that it's motivation that's holding you back right now. Because once you start again, then you'll feel that all too familiar feeling of inspiration. We knew it as a kid. You know, you'd be building a pillow fort or a sandcastle out there in the dunes, and then you'd feel so inspired. You just keep adding things to it and building on it and doing all this crazy stuff. And yet as we grow older, We get used to not having the feeling of being inspired to charge off on something. And we allow ourselves for decades, years, months to sit in that feeling of not feeling inspired. And inaction just surrounds us like a cloud. And we allow it to happen. It's wild. And we don't, when I say we allow it to happen, we never intended on it to happen. But by the time we actually realize our inactivity was the answer, the inactivity was us saying no, all that time sometimes already slips past us. And that doesn't mean we give up and stare at it too much. That means we need to, if we're good enough to take the thought and consider the fact that it slipped past us, we need to spin around as fast as humanly possible and catch what we've got left with as much vigor and intensity as we possibly can. That's what I reckon. You can see what I'm talking about? Good. Because sometimes I wonder if I just come across as meaningless waffle. If I actually click sometimes. So, you doesn't even need to fly. Welcome to the other side. So we can do it like you do. We can do it like me. Stage when we finally chase the key. Oh, damn. Da-da-dee-da-dee-dee-die. To the other side. There we go. So you can do it like you do, or you can do it like me. End stage when you finally chase the key. There we go. Let's check a little bit more down through there. The ankle there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, you just need to fly to the other side. All right, team. We are closing in on where I want this painting to be. I'm just going to do exactly what I said I was going to do at the start, which is add just a few of these chocolatey tones down the base here. Just a few. Not enough to overwhelm anything. There we go. And we're going to pause there. Pause there, you bunch of beautiful people. Oh, tighty. You haven't made time for your interests and hobbies. I've been putting my time into motivation to personal fitness and work goals in that process. Yeah. And Crystal, yes, I have. I went to the Louvre. It was amazing. Went to Rome. Quite lovely going through all those places. But I will say this, going back to Claire, probably this happens when your interests and hobbies become things that are draining you. As in, you're like, I need to find time for that. I need to find time for that. When you do find time for it, you're exhausted after doing it. Find a way to make your interest and hobby vitalizing. Is it music? Is it with friends? Is it outside? However you do it, find a way to do that and actually bring that into it. Because if your interest or hobby drains you, you're not going to find time with a full-time job, with a relationship, with a child, with a commute. All these things will take away from your hobby and your dreams. And by the end of it, you'll be so drained that you could think, I can't even think about picking up a paintbrush right now. I'm just too tired at the end of the day. But if you know that thing's going to give you more energy to attack everything else, you will make time for it, whether it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day. It'll become something sacred. We always find time to have a cup of coffee because it kickstarts us. Find a way to make your hobby kickstart you, and you'll always make time for it. That's a fact. Okay, team. We got a cheeky 5,000 likes, you pack of legends. I have to dash now. I'm going to go home, do some little bits and bulbs. With a bit of luck, if I find some time, I'll upload some prints to the website, but we'll see. We will see. Until then, wherever you are in the world, guys, Crystal, you go back to studying. Steve, get some sleep. Oh no, Steve, you're on the same. Steve, have some dinner and get some sleep. And everyone else, Claire, good to have you here. Everyone else, look after yourselves, and I will see you next time. You're a pack of legends, guys. Have fun at work then, Crystal. Absolutely. Bye, Brittany. Thanks for tuning in. I'm on the move, team. Bye.